All right, so let's just jump right into it. Have you ever looked at someone who's putting out amazing, free content, just tons of value, but they never seem to actually sell anything? It's this bizarre puzzle, right? You're giving away the good stuff, but the sales just aren't coming in. Well, today we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. Okay, so get this. An absolutely staggering 90% of content creators, the ones who consistently give away valuable stuff for free, they fail to make any real sales from it. I mean, think about that. That's not just a small issue. 90%. That's all that work, all that incredible information, and for what? Pretty much nothing in return. It's wild. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Why? Why does this even happen? I mean, if the content is genuinely good and people are loving it, where's the breakdown? What's that one missing link that separates just being a content machine from running an actual, sustainable business? And this right here is what we're calling the content creator's dilemma. It's that feeling, and maybe you know it, of just being stuck on a hamster wheel. You're producing and producing and producing, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Just look at this for a second. The disconnect is huge. You're doing all the things you're supposed to do, right? You're writing these great blog posts, you're active on social media, you're making tutorials that are actually helpful. The activity column is full, but that result column, it's just empty. And this happens because most of us, well, we're just kind of throwing value out into the world and hoping something sticks. But you know what? Hope is not a strategy. So here's the thing. The problem probably isn't your content. It's the fact that there's no system behind it. The source material calls this an invisible thread. And I love that phrase. It's this powerful, hidden structure that connects every single thing you create, and it guides your audience along a journey they don't even know they're on. So how do we fix this whole dilemma? Well, it's going to take a pretty big shift in how you think about all this. A totally new philosophy, really. It's about learning how to sell without ever looking like you're trying to sell. And this quote, this is everything. It's the core of the whole strategy. In a world where we're just bombarded with ads and pitches, this approach is like a secret weapon. See, the goal isn't to push a sale. It's to create a situation where buying from you is the most natural, obvious next step for your customer. And how on earth do you do that? You stop thinking of your content as just a handout, like you're just giving away free info. Instead, every single piece of content you put out there becomes a micro conversation. It's not you just talking at people. It's the start of a dialogue that gently leads a person from being kind of curious to realizing they have a real problem you can solve. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how do you actually build this invisible thread? Well, it boils down to a really simple but super powerful three-phase system that you can start applying to everything you create. Phase 1 is all about targeted creation. And the key here is you've got to stop talking about your product. Seriously. Instead, you create content that answers the exact questions and solves the specific problems your ideal customer is wrestling with before they're even thinking about buying anything. So let's say you sell productivity software. Instead of a video about your features, you'd write a blog post like 5 signs your team is speeding towards burnout. See? You're not selling it, you're just holding up a mirror to their problem. Okay, then we move to phase 2, fluid connection. And this part is absolutely crucial. You can never, ever leave your user at a dead end. Every blog post, every video, every single thing you post has to smoothly connect to a logical next step. So at the end of that team burnout article, what do? You might link to another piece of content, like a free checklist on how to run way more efficient meetings. You're always guiding them forward. And that little journey leads us right into phase 3, silent conversion. Your offer, your product, your service, it only shows up when the person is actually ready for it. So after they downloaded your meeting checklist, maybe the next step you offer is a webinar on streamlining team workflows. It's only at the very end of that super valuable webinar that you introduce your software. And it's not a hard pitch, right? It's just the perfect tool to put everything they just learned into action. The conversion feels quiet. It's just the natural result of all the value you've already given. So let's just recap that real quick. It starts with targeted creation, addressing their problem, not your product. Then you have fluid connection, always guiding them to the next logical step. And finally, silent conversion, letting your offer show up as the natural solution. This whole system turns random pieces of content into a deliberate journey that's out there working for you 24/7. Okay, so why does this system work so incredibly well? It's because it's built on the single most valuable thing in the digital world today, and that's trust. This is such a powerful way to look at this. Your free content, when it's strategic, it stops just being free. It actually becomes a currency, the currency of trust. With every helpful article, every useful tip, you're making a deposit into a trust account with your audience. And the more you deposit, the stronger that relationship gets. And this all builds up to the ultimate goal, which the source material calls frictionless authority. This is the end game. It's that state where you are seen as the go-to expert, the trusted guide, without ever needing to hard sell or pressure anyone. You don't have to shout about how great you are because you've already earned that authority by consistently showing up and offering real solutions. So as we start to wrap this up, everything we've talked about really boils down to one final powerful idea. It's a fundamental shift in how we need to think about marketing and selling right now. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The old way of doing things, interrupting people, screaming for attention, is just not working anymore. The future really does belong to the guides, the people who can patiently educate, connect, and lead their audience to the right answer. So the last question here is for you. You're already making content, right? But are you just adding to the noise, or are you actually building a pathway? Are you shouting, or are you guiding? Really think about that. Are you ready to be a guide?